Hey guys, so ready for our monthly pick a card reading. We have 3 bracelets and we're going to see what messages come forward for you for the following month ahead. We've got pile 1, which is a black Tourmaline bracelet. Pile 2 is a Chrysocolla bracelet. And pile 3 is a Tiger's Eye bracelet. So pick your pile and then we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, pile 1. If you chose the black Tourmaline bracelet, then this is going to be your reading. All right, guys, so I'm going to say that either currently or upcoming, I'm assuming most of you are in a relationship, first of all. I'm assuming that relationship has a lot of stress in it. Looks like there's a lot of stress. Okay, for some of you, it's going to be infidelity. But I think for a lot of you, it's financial strain. And there's a real imbalance in your relationship. Now, if you aren't... Oops. Sorry. My daughter was texting me. So, for a lot of you, I think I think most of you, I think the vast majority of people in here are going to be in a relationship. That's not entirely true. I think some of you might be single mothers. I think there's single mothers, and then there's probably relationships. You've got the King and the Queen of Cups. The Queen is reversed, but I think that the King and Queen are symbolic of the relationship, but I also think that the King is advice, which we'll get to. Let me just start over here and go over. So you got Temperance and the Queen of Cups. Temperance reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed. So Temperance reversed, I think there's a lot of disproportionate give and take, unfairness in a relationship. If you are single, then I'm going to go with just in your personal situation. This will apply to you somehow, but I really think the most people in here are going to be in relationships. That being said, if you aren't, personal life, there's a lot of uneven give and take, and the one party or another, potentially the female in the party, or I guess if there aren't any females, somebody in the party, is kind of... The energy is like it's like an unevolved Cancer. You know the Cancer astrology sign, when they're like an unevolved version, they become kind of emotionally manipulative and withdrawn, and they become very like just unpleasant, and they're the kind of person who kind of brings the room down because they're hurting and they just sulk a lot, that kind of thing. And I think the core, a lot of it comes from emotional strife, or I mean not emotional, but financial strife in the home that is perpetuating out into the relationship, and or for some of you, infidelity. There's key infidelity vibes in here, but I don't think it's going to be everyone in the group, and I don't want to say that either because I don't want anyone to go and assume that their partner is cheating on them because they saw a pick a card reading. This is a general reading, so because it's a general reading, a whole group of people will watch this, and therefore this is not going to be specifically honed into just you. If you want a reading for just you, you can book me. There's a link below, but like this is a general reading, so it's going to apply to themes overall to everybody. Within this group, there are going to be those who are experiencing infidelity and those who are experiencing financial strife. And I think that's kind of like the first part of the month, or the energy going into the month. And then there's just a lot of conflict. There's a lot of isolation happening, and a need for the confrontation of the reality. Like there's pain happening. We have our 3 of Swords here, right? There's just no getting around what's happening. It is painful, and that is the truth of it, right? And then the King of Swords is what is over our 3 of Swords. And I'm not reading it as a person necessarily. The King of Cups I said King of Swords, King of Cups. King of Cups cards over a Three of Swords. And I'm not reading it like a person. It feels like advice. Like there's a need to just look dead at it, face the reality of it, and then find kind of your own emotional stability within the situation and be able to use your intuition to guide you, as well as you need to be emotionally compassionate and competent. Like, it's very easy when we're hurting to be bitter or to lash out or be reactive, but spirit, your guides, whatever, are asking for you to kind of just face the reality and then try to take a deep breath and allow yourself to guide yourself through it. There is the Nine of Pentacles here. So it almost feels like like the energy feels better over here. It feels like there is an opportunity, or like you're moving in to better financial security. But I think for some of you, maybe a good portion of you, that's going to involve a separation. Like maybe you're pulling all the fiscal weight and the relationship, aside from that, that person is maybe unwilling to assist. Maybe that person is, there's other issues. Maybe they're also being unfaithful. Maybe they're just, it's just an unhealthy, toxic relationship for some of you. And there's financial strife on top of it. And the abundance will come when you choose to leave the relationship and choose to face the facts of what it is. For some of you, not all of you, but there's a real feeling of, I have the Hermit here next to my Nine of Pentacles, and that is very much for me energy of like going within to find your independence and like moving forward. And kind of the Nine of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards because she's like the pre-empress. It's this feminine energy of not really needing anything from anyone, being independently comfortable, and not just that, but content. Like she can just sit in a garden with this bird and be like, I'm completely happy here. She's got her like whole, you can see in the background here, really tiny. It's like a little castle, like a little home, but she's alone, but she's happy alone, like she's content, she's good. And that's next to the Hermit. So I do feel like there's a bit of for some of you who are in relationships that are, not doing really well, and it's not doing really well. Like if this is for you, you'll know it's for you. Like if this pertains to your relationship and your need to end your relationship, you'll know that's for you. So if you're in like a good relationship and you're like, oh shit, should I end it? No, it's not for you. You'll know it's for you. This is complicated. I hate this part of general readings because when I want to give specific advice that is clearly coming through for certain people, I hate giving it to the general public because I'm always like, man, I don't want everyone to take this advice, but there are people out here who need to hear this. So for those of you who need to hear it, that's for you. My camera only records for 20 minutes at a time, so I don't have to reset it. All right, so the other thing too is at the bottom of your deck, you have the Three of Wands reversed, which is again one of those cards about like poor communication in relationships. And it's almost like this, when you are in a conversation / argument with somebody and you're both expressing yourself to the best of your abilities, but neither one of you is seeing the other person's perspective. It's that energy. It's like there's just no way for the communication to get very clear, especially with our Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords is about clarity, but it's reverse, just showing more miscommunication and more. There's a lot, like this whole energy. It's just like it's a lot of a relationship problems and just miscommunications, arguments, unbalance, and financial problems, and emotional upset, and for some of you, infidelity could be at the core of it. I'm gonna grab some of these psychic tarot cards to clarify this pull. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have the Three of Swords again. I don't usually read reversals in this deck, but I feel like I'm supposed to read this one in reverse. Okay. No. Hey. So far I got the Three of Swords, the Six of Swords, the, what was that, Four of Cups, Two of Swords, more swords, more swords, so many swords. And the swords are just, it's like a mental conflict, and it's a lot of communication and mental conflict. And then you have a solar plexus chakra, a third eye chakra, crown chakra. Yeah, it's a lot of chakras too. So you have discontentment. In this deck, the cards are named differently. So this is the Two of Swords, but in this deck it's called mental conflict. We have Three of Swords, which is heartache and loss. We have Six of Swords, which is moving on, but it's in reverse. And then the Four of Cups, which is called discontent and boredom. And then solar plexus, third eye, and then crown at the bottom. So I really think we had that using your intuition and with the King of Cups earlier to confront and come to terms with the reality of the pain and situation that you're in. And we have the solar plexus chakra, third eye chakra, mental conflict, heartache, this whole thing. It's the same kind of energy that I feel like is being reiterated, that the advice that wants to come through for you more than anything else is that you really need to look internally. You also have the crown chakra on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. And there's a resistance of moving forward. It's Six of Swords. I wasn't recording my audio, and then my camera died. So I think I'm just going to use the audio from inside the camera for that portion. We'll move forward. Hopefully the audio sounds better now. All right, so as I was saying, this seems to be a reiteration of what we already had going on, happening, just an emphasis of it. That just tells me that they want me to emphasize to you that the step moving forward is to confront this resistance of moving forward in your life, and the mental conflict that you're experiencing on account of it. Like, you are so fucking conflicted on the option that I think you already know is the thing to do. And they're asking you to use, you got 3 chakras here, which is kind of a statistical impossibility. So I'm guessing they're asking you to do some kind of internal searching, meditation work. I'm assuming that if you're getting this many chakras, you're probably already somewhat familiar with how they operate. And to leverage that to move forward, use your will, use your intuition, and use your connection to source to move forward for what you already know is in the best good. I'm going to pull a few more tarot cards for you, and then we'll do some oracle cards. Oh, God, Jesus. Wow, okay. Wow. Okay. So I was going to put these ones back in, but then I felt inclined to check them. Like, I was like, it was like, check those cards. And it's the Ace of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Again, reverse though. And the Three of Pentacles. I'm just going to set those aside. So what we have is we have the Tower, the Five of Cups, both upright. Knight of Swords, reverse, Four of Swords, upright. Seven of Pentacles, reverse. Six of Pentacles, upright. Nine of Wands, reverse. Nine of Cups, upright. Back of the deck is, or bottom of the deck is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, all right. So I think there's been a collapse of something, some event, some loss. Obviously, we've got the Three of Swords twice already, so we know there's pain and loss. But we have the Tower here. The Tower is like a sudden event or collapse or loss of some kind, which ends up being causes cataclysmic. It's like a catalyst for change. It's usually seen negatively. Most people are, anti-Tower card. I'm not necessarily opposed to the Tower card. because it is only with the destruction that rebirth can happen, right? It's only you tear down what is there so you can rebuild better. But with you, there was something lost, and you can no longer even focus on what it is you still have left, because you're so focused on what it is that you've lost. And the Eight of Cups reverse, the way I feel inclined to read it is a desire to return to something that you left behind. That's the way it's Eight of Cups reverse. So the Eight of Cups is about walking away, but in its reversal position today, it just feels like a returning to something that you walked away from. That's what it feels like today. And it's almost like you're so focused on your desire to want to return to that thing that there's no ability to be content where you are, and there's a hesitancy to rush off and take action. There's a hesitancy for it, and that's for good reason, because there needs to be, you get the 4 stars here, you really need to spend some time healing your heart. And it's like you've run out of patience, really. And it feels really sad, honestly. This all feels very sad. It's like you've given up on your dreams, your wishes. Like the 9 of Wands is about perseverance, and it's about it's like you've been in the battle for so fucking long that you just keep going regardless. Like you just keep persevering, but in reverse, it's just like the giving up. Like you've given up, and that's being clarified by the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is your wishes. It's like everything you want. You've given up on everything that you want. Your losses, yeah, it's like you don't. There's some kind of collaborative effort that I think you really, really want, and you don't feel like it's possible. You don't see any way for it to be feasible. You don't see any way to keep everything afloat and still do it. You don't see how it's possible, and it's just defeating you, and there's an inability to even know how to confront it. There's a impatience and a desire to quit here. Like I'm tired now. Like I feel tired now. I'm so tired of this shit. Like that's how I feel reading these cards. It's just like exhausted. I'm gonna pull some more of these Psychic Tarot cards. I am continuously being drawn back to the 4 of Swords though, which in this deck, I love this depiction of the 4 of Swords. It shows kind of this girl, she's covered in battle wounds. Like she's been through it, right? I'm almost gonna cry looking at Jesus. And she's laying in a nest, just resting peacefully. Her heart is actually next to her. Like she's removed it and set it aside so she could just rest for a minute. And that's kind of the way that it feels. Like you need to just rest for a minute and work on you. Okay. I don't know if it wants to be reversed or upright. Upright, okay. So you also have the Ace of Cups. 7 of Cups in reverse. You know what I think this is? And the Hangman, which in this deck is called Sacrifice. And there's the Ace of Swords again. That's 3. That's 3 Ace of Swords. And the Devil. Oh, I read another reversal. I don't usually read reversals in this deck. I don't even know why I'm doing it without thinking about it. It's so weird. It's highly unusual. And the Tower again. Jesus. So, 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, so, okay. For some of you, not all of you, I think for some of you, there is a person that you want to return to. But you can't figure out how. And it would require sacrifice. Great sacrifice. We have... So after all of this, we read all those cards, all these things about... Well, you were there. You were there for it. That's fine. So then we pulled the Ace of Cups, which is about love begins. It's about a new love. It's new. It's fresh, right? It's not old. It's not been there before. It's fresh and it's new. We also have the Seven of Cups in reverse. I don't usually read reversals in this deck, but in reverse. Seven of Cups is just about like illusion and delusion. It's about not being sure what is illusion, what is delusion, what do you choose, what is real, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. Like it's that kind of energy next to the Hangman, which in this deck is called Sacrifice, and I'm feeling called to call it Sacrifice. Like I just keep looking at it like Sacrifice is the word. Then you have the Ace of Swords, which is the third time we've gotten it, but this time it's the first time we have it upright. And the Devil and Disruption, which is the Tower. So these two came out together. The Tower, which is Disruption, and the Devil, which in this deck is called Temptation. The Devil is all about karmic bonds. The Devil is all about like these strong karmic attachments and temptation. And if you look at the traditional, we don't have it. No, I thought we did. If you look at the traditional Devil card, there are two people. It looks just like the Lover's card. If you look at it really, so the Lover's card has like an angel, kind of this big archangel over two lovers. The Devil sits up on a perch, on a podium above two people, but they're chained to the podium. They're like chained in. They don't have freedom. They don't have restriction. And this came out with the Tower. There is I'm ending up where I started, which is that I think most people who are watching this are in a relationship, and I think most of you need to end it. And I think that's just what it is. Now, that's not for you. You'll know it's not for you. And I don't want to encourage anyone to go fuck up a perfectly good relationship, okay? Just to be clear. But to have the Tower twice, yeah, for sure. Five of Cups, Eight of Cups, Three of Swords, Six. Yeah, yes, absolutely. I think most of you are experiencing a relationship that probably needs to end. The Tower is the one that ended. We started this pull with the Tower. We're ending this pull with the Tower as well. It's the clarity that will come with it. So much clarity and so much revelation can come with it. If that's you, you know it's you. If it's not you, then you know it's not you. And it's really that simple. But I think a lot of you are in relationships that need to be ended. There's a lot of, and I think there's a lot of strife in the relationship currently because maybe it's coming down to finances. And that's how it's manifesting, but it's really just symptomatic of a larger, more ingrained problems in the relationship. I'm actually going to pull a couple of... It's the same deck, but it's for love. It's like relationship specific. So this is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. It's the Hermit again, but in this deck it's called Seek. It's about. Any more? Oh, spread your wings. The crown chakra again. The solar plexus chakra again. Like, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the Six of Pentacles again, which we have here as well. There's a lot of duplicates. Duplicates just tell me that those are the emphasis cards. So with the Six of Pentacles, that's about, and Temperance, really, it's about that even give and take. And making sure that there's an even give and take. Making sure that those things are balanced. Making sure a relationship is balanced. Making sure all relationships are balanced, really. And that seems to be a core component. Yeah, you're being asked to kind of expand and spread your wings and move forward. We're moving on to Oracle cards now, by the way. I didn't really announce it, but that's what we're doing. Moving on to Oracle cards. You have a personal issue reaches resolution. And your commitment is being tested. So for some of you, that might be to stay in a relationship, or for some of you, it might be for, I don't think it's to stay for most of you, but I think for the rest of you, it could be your commitment to your growth, right? And then the next one that comes out is what do you need to release? Surrender to the divine. So these are cards about, yeah, you're good enough. Yeah. Full moon in Cancer, waning moon, full moon, first quarter moon. What do you need to release? Surrender to the divine. So if you're being asked to surrender and you're being asked what you need to release and you have 2 Tower cards, I don't think you really have to do a lot, honestly. I think the whole thing's going to fall apart for you. But it's going to be about how you react to it, right? Like, you have to be able to react appropriately. And when I say react appropriately, I basically mean not react. To be able to just be and just allow things to progress as they are being laid out for you. Like, if the entire universe is collapsing what is in existence for you and you're being asked or you're being shown and pushed towards a different direction, surrender to that, right? And confront the reality of the situation. Can I at least shuffle it first? No. Okay. Find balance. Again, we have balance. That's a lot of balance. There's a lot of balance cards in here. Find the balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. Which reminds me of the Four of Swords card with the girl napping. I think for a lot of you, that's really, I mean, you're so, like, off balance. Specifically in your relationship, for most of you. That you need to get yourself in a situation where that is more in harmony. You need to find a more harmonious situation to keep you in check. When you gaze at the stars, it's called stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. We're coming back to that whole intuition thing. We've got the Hermit twice. King of Cups. There's a lot of cards of just individual people. We don't have couple cards. We don't have cards with 2 people on them here. This is about you. Even the spread your wing card is just one person. This is all, well, the only one, we do have one. It's your desire for collaboration. But you just need to, like, find your intuitive inner knowing and move forward with that. I'm going to do one more fairy, I think. And I'm going to move forward. Oh, there it is. Manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now write it down on paper. Manifestation step 1. Yeah, you want something. We already established that you want something. You want to go back to something, I think. And if you're clear about it and then the universe starts to give it to you in a way that is maybe uncomfortable, you have to surrender to that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had to reset the camera again. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't feel super clear with your pile today. Like, normally I would hear a lot of messages or get a lot of like visual insight, intuitive stuff. I'm not getting that. I'm reading your cards pretty much like, other than a couple of variations, like by the book. It's just, I'm not feeling intuitive on it, which is weird. I don't know. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. All right. These are the Universe Has Your Back cards. So these cards, the reason why I really like these cards a lot is because they are kind of like, they're just words. The cards are words written on cards. That's it. That's the whole card. And I like to think of them as like messages from your guides, your higher self, your spirit, whatever, God, whatever works for you. These are like direct words that can hopefully help you in your journey. So you have, my outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. Again, we keep talking about this hermit, imbalance, individual, spread your wings kind of thing, going in, intuition, that kind of stuff. Like, the discomfort and problems and your solution is internal. You've got to go internal. All those chakras, you got like, what, 6 chakra cards? It's internal, the problem you're having. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Yeah, you guys are in so much, you're having so much like conflict and pain, and it's fearful and uncomfortable, the thing that's occurring with you, and potentially with confronting the idea of leaving a partner, and being able to look at it as the relationship is not like a loss, but as this really big, amazing, beautiful chapter. Why do I feel like I'm gonna cry? Oh God. This beautiful chapter of like a big series of life lessons where you both help each other grow and learn and, you know, expand. Any relationship doesn't have to be like this whole fairy tale we've been sold about fucking you get with somebody, you spend your life with them forever. Like, why are we clinging to this idea? It's kind of nonsense, honestly. I think we connect with people that we are resonating with, and when we no longer resonate with them, when we're, you know, when we expand, where our lessons learned by each other are over, there's no reason why we can't, with love, move forward. When there's disresonance, when their disresonance begins to emerge, there's no reason we can't peacefully be like, I am so grateful for all the time we spent together. That was wonderful. I wish the best for you. Like, it's just ego and attachment that makes us not be able to do that, really. I'm the loving energy of the universe. You are love. I am love. We're all love. We're all connected. Like, there's no reason that it has to be painful. Not that it, okay, that's not true. I'm so sorry. It's painful. That's all there is to it. But, that being said, there is positive to all negatives, right? There's a need to see the positive aspect of your situation and be able to move forward with it. I have never used these cards before, so this will be new. Change. Wind. This is the Element Oracle. I will, by the way, link every deck that I'm using below. This is the Element Oracle. You got the card Wind, which is symbolic of change, which, yeah, you have to just flow with the wind, man. Like, don't resist it. Surrender to it. Let it collapse. Let it fall apart. It's okay. You don't have to. Storms, cleansing. Breath, life, joy, music. Yeah, breeze your energy with music. Like, allow music to help transmute energies for you so you can move forward to the best of your ability. So, for the majority of you, I really kind of abandoned anybody who's watching this who is in a relationship. I kind of abandoned you along the way, and I'm very sorry. This seems like for the most good that this reading is going to do for the most number of people are going to be those who are in relationships that need to end. There's a need to go within. There's a need to face the facts of the situation. There's a lot of disharmony. There's a lot of lack of clarity. There's a lot of need to find balance and trust yourself to move forward appropriately. For everyone else, I'm real sorry. I think you can find a way for it to resonate with you if it resonates with you. Maybe it's not a personal romantic relationship. Maybe it's a different dynamic, a family dynamic, or a work dynamic that's having the same kind of energetic pull on you. But I think for the majority of people who are picking this pile, they're in a relationship and they're being asked to commit to their growth and ascension so they can move on to the next stage, which I think will actually hold a lot of happiness and abundance. Because there's some good. You have the Ace of Cups and our Nine of Pentacles, and it looks like there's the Nine of Cups. You can move into this beautiful life phase, but you're gonna have to do the hard thing to do it. That's all. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate this reading, like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. You know the drill. Interacting with my content helps me grow the channel. I really appreciate it. And there's links below for all kinds of shit if you want to take the time to look at it. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. That's it. Have a wonderful new one. Alright, so if you guys chose pile 2 with the Chrysocolla bracelet, this will be your reading. Listen, I haven't started pulling any cards yet, but I'm already having like deeply philosophical thoughts. I all of a sudden feel like I'm in my... I think this is going to be a very spiritual reading. I'm feeling, yep, we'll see, but that's what it feels like. Okay, so tarot cards have meanings that are, they have specific meanings for when they're upright, and they have different meanings when they're reversed. Now, depending on how I feel when I'm reading cards, either I read off the traditional reversed meaning. Sometimes I intuitively have a different interpretation, or I end up interpreting it as the blocked energy, like the energy of the upright blocked. And that's what this feels like. This reading feels like blocked energy. Your entire bottom row is made of major arcana cards. Almost all of them reversed. The ones you'd rather have reversed are not. And then everything on the top row, you've only got one card that's upright. And bottom of the deck is also reversed. I don't think in this particular instance that the meanings of the cards are about the traditional reversed meanings. It feels like blocked energy. I'm also, by the way, it's freezing all of a sudden. I have goosebumps. I feel chills. I'm just chilly. I'm cold as fuck. Very suddenly. So I'm drawn into this section first. We have the Tower in reverse, the Nine of Cups in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Seven of Swords in reverse. I also keep getting the feeling that there's people from Pile 1 who decided to carry over and watch Pile 2. Which, this is a very different reading from Pile 1. I think it'll be a very different reading, but I think for those of you who resonated with Pile 1, which was a relationship-based reading, I think for those, and I don't know why I even feel inclined to say this, but I feel like there are some of you who are carrying over to watch this one. And for those of you, this is kind of the spiritual element of what's happening with you. That's not so much about your physical reality and relationships and stuff. So, just, I don't know, I feel inclined to say that. Now, you have everything that's happening right now. By the way, first of all, everything that's happening to you is divinely guided. You have way too many major arcana cards. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, Judgment, the Devil, and the World. That's a lot of major arcana cards to have. And that just tells me that these are like big, major, unavoidable, divinely guided energies. Like this is an unstoppable thing. This was gonna happen. It's happening. Like this is just what it is, right? So it feels very uncomfortable and it feels very kind of dark, but it feels like that. I just wanted to give a really nice reading, and the first one wasn't, and now this one is starting a little rough too. I'm very unhappy about that. It's spring. Why can't it be pleasant and pretty? It feels like the final push before a rebirth. This is what it feels like. Like that final, you're almost fucking there. You even have the World card, but these three cards came out together. The World card's on the bottom. So it's almost like the World, which is the end, the completion of a cycle, is buried underneath everything. Having the Tower over here with the Nine of Cups, it's like the collapse of... It's the collapse of your... For some of you, it's the collapse of your hopes and dreams. For some of you... Well, actually, I think for all of you, it's the collapse that leads you to your hopes and dreams, right? It's almost like... you feel like you haven't been given a fair shot. You feel like your luck's been shitty. You feel like nothing really seems to be going your way, but it is actually going your way. It is. It doesn't look like it. It's kind of that this too shall pass concept, where, or you need to. No, maybe not that. Scratch this, you shall pass. I think it's more about non-judgment of a current situation, right? It's very easy to label a situation as being negative or bad or unfortunate, but it is oftentimes the struggles and the hardships we go through that lead us to the places that give us what it is we most desire or give us fulfillment in our life. And I feel like for a lot of you, that's what's happening. The only upright cards here, well, there's this section's upright, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. You have the Three of Pentacles upright, and it's this focus on, I want to say work, but it's not like your job work. It's like work that's fulfilling. It's work that is of your divine skill set, of the gifts that you came into this world with. And it's the pursuit of that, or the desire to pursue that, or like it's about wanting some collaborative effort on that in particular, collaborating on something that is fulfilling for your soul and that brings you where you want to be. Your Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I always read the Wheel of Fortune in reverse as kind of what I'm talking about, which is where when the Wheel of Fortune is upright, it's kind of like a completed cycle. When it's reversed, I see it as a signifier from spirit that a cycle's almost complete, but you're not quite there. There is some sneaky behavior, sneaky intentions in this situation that's in your life right now, and I think it might be you. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean I think you have some ideas, concepts, motives that you're not really telling anybody about, or that you're debating on internally, and you're not sharing it with anybody. I think that's part of your crux is you don't really know how to move forward. For some of you, for the rest of you, I would just be mindful of those in your life. I don't feel an emphasis on that card, but we'll see if it comes out again. On the bottom of your deck is the Ace of Cups in reverse, and it's just like, it's like you, yeah, it's like, again, I feel like this is blocked energy. It's this feeling of you almost are to the point of having your cup full and overflowing, and so the Nine of Cups is about wish fulfillment. It's reversed. It's blocked. Like your wishes are blocked. A full overflowing cup is blocked. The Wheel of Fortune, like having this new cycle and judgment, this spiritual revelation and higher calling, it's all blocked. Financial security blocked. And it's all blocked, I think, by so far. We'll get some more in a minute, but it seems to be we have the Devil, the King of Swords, and the World. And I just feel like the World is kind of this thing that's hiding underneath, like the completion of the cycle that turns everything around, hides underneath the Devil and the King of Swords. The Devil is all about karmic attachments, temptation, addictions. It's the things that are we're not. It's attachments more than anything, just attachment. That's what I feel like saying, just attachments. It's the things you're not willing to let go of, and the toxicities you're not willing to confront or deal with. And the King of Swords is a guy with cold, calculating clarity, with mental sharpness. He sees the whole thing and how it's playing out, and he's not somebody you want to play chess with, you know. Like, he's going to win. The King of Swords, he's a bad dude. I like the King of Swords. I'm a fan of the King of Swords in a lot of ways, but I feel like you're being asked to embody that, to see the Devil for what it is, to see your attachments for what they are, to see karmic ties for what they are, and then underneath all of that, you have this brand new beautiful cycle where all this energy can be unblocked. Oh, I was going to say, I think I forgot. I'm feeling very scattered. So the Tower, when I see it reversed, so the Tower is all about the collapse of something. It's about, I mean, even in the depiction of the card, it shows a big tower collapsing and the people falling out of the windows, burning. And it's all about, like, the sudden, like lightning strikes a building. Like, all of a sudden, everything around you just collapsed. But when I see it reversed, I always interpret it as, like, you knew it was going to collapse. Like, it's not all that shocking, you know? It's just kind of like, it's kind of like this was inevitable, which feels right because I feel like all this is inevitable. I feel like this is a final push in your current evolutionary stage. Like you're going to move into a new evolutionary stage, a new rebirth, and a new cycle soon, but you had to get to this final push. I don't normally bridge shuffle these cards, but we're doing it today. These are the Psychic Tarot cards. I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these for clarity on what we have out already. I'm feeling like you are having or will have in this lunar cycle a lot of mental conflict in regards to isolation and needing to speak up, like needing to speak your truth, and feeling isolated and feeling cut off and feeling like you've been waiting and waiting and you're running out of patience and feeling imbalanced, right? When I look at this pile and how it's stacked, I just feel like we've got this mental conflict on top with a pyramid of all these cards underneath, right? And these cards underneath are about your throat chakra, the hermit being, isolated within yourself, inner seeking, that kind of thing. This one's called the waiting game, patience, and balance. And I feel like these are the things that are within your mind that are causing you all the conflict. And I think it's within this conflict that these blockings are all the blockages happening. There's a need to work through these particular issues, right? So if you need to speak your truth, then you need to speak your truth, okay? Now, you always want to speak your truth from a place of love and compassion. If speaking your truth involves telling somebody that they're a fucking asshole, you're not speaking your truth, right? That's just your ego speaking its truth. That's not your truth. You're not your ego, right? So I think within your inner seeking, you should find compassion, understanding, and patience within it. And go ahead and when you're ready, speak your truth and work yourself through this mental conflict and find your solution, because within that solution is how you're going to unblock these energies. You have so many blessings and this whole new fresh start waiting for you if you can get this energy unblocked. Also the bottom of your deck is the Seven of Wands, which in this deck is called Stand Your Ground, which is, that's how I would interpret it anyways, but again, with that speaking your truth thing, you don't have to back down, nor should you. You have to own your truth and stand in it and fully unapologetically. And allow yourself to move forward from there. Getting stuck and attached to what is now or feeling like you can't move forward only keeps you trapped. It's not allowing you to presently surrender and expand. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. I keep feeling overlap between this pile and pile one. This feels like the spiritual side of pile one situation. Now, if you're from pile one, then you're like, yeah, bitch, then cool. If you're like, I didn't watch pile one, listen, pile one was largely about somebody who is in an unhealthy and toxic relationship. So, if that resonates with you, maybe go watch that one also. Because I do keep feeling like these two are tied together. And I'm seeing a lot of overlapping cards, and I'm feeling like this, it's almost like an undercurrent of that, or somebody that I'm strongly connected to in some way has watched both. That's also an option. But there can feel like a similar consciousness tying them together. So either somebody or a couple of people that I am strongly tied to are watching both piles, or there's a need for some percentage of you to watch both piles. So just FYI, first pile is about it's largely about a toxic relationship. So if that resonates with you, you should probably watch part one. Okay. So I'm just going to ignore that whole part of the story, and if that resonates, you'll watch that. I'm going to just ignore that part of the storyline and move forward, because I think this is the spiritual aspect of things. Now, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. By the Fool, Ten of Cups, Death reversed, Five of Cups reversed, Queen of Swords reversed, Sun, Eight of Cups reversed, Temperance again over here, Four of Wands reversed. So, the way I'm feeling about, there's also some cards in the Four, but I'm going to leave them there. Oh, I love that artwork. I never noticed. Okay, sorry. The Three of Swords reversed. It's just kind of, again, it feels more blocked than anything. With the Three of Swords, it's like your refusal to confront the pain of a situation for whatever reason, right? There's a fresh start waiting, right? If you can confront it, there's a fresh start. There's a new journey. Like, you've got the the Tower over here, the Wheel of Fortune over here, with the Ten of Cups, Death, the Fool. You also had the World. We have Judgment. This is a lot of cards that, to me, indicate the completion and beginning of cycles, right? And it's like you're stuck in this place where you are ready to start a new cycle, but you're having a hard time because you can't let go of the things that you've lost. This is a similar theme that happened in pile 1 as well. But there is this brand new... I don't want to go into the relationship aspect, but we have some signifiers of the end of a home situation. We've got the refusal of it, actually. So we've got the Ten of Cups, the guy and the woman and the house with the kids in the yard, and being clarified by Death in reverse, which is this like resistance to death, like resistance to end it, like refusal to do so, refusal to confront the pain of what it would be to have a new start. You have the Five of Cups, which is largely about mourning what you've lost instead of being grateful for what you have the potential to have. Like, you have this beautiful new journey, but you're just clinging to shit. And I feel like I read these cards. Honestly, I feel like I've read this same storyline in all on ticket card readings. I don't know if it's the same people picking it, but it's almost like there is some subsect of the people who are watching my videos who are refusing to let go of something. And month after month, I'm just sitting here being like, hey, so here we are again. Like, you're stubbornly not letting go of things. Well, we have, like, look at this. We have the Sun card being clarified by the Eight of Cups in reverse, right? Which is this same fucking energy I had in pile 1. That was more relationship specific, and I feel like this is more spiritually relevant, but I still feel like there's an undertone of it because this Eight of Cups feels, again, like it's walking away from something, but it's walking to something. Or returning to something, I should say. There's a return to something as well as a walking away from something. And there's so much joy available. Like, so fucking much joy in this new cycle if you are willing to embrace it. Like, shit tons of it. You also have the Four of Wands here. The Four of Wands is like, it's the perfect celebratory, harmonious. It also tends to be a twin flame card, but I don't really like those words and I'm not going to use them. So, that being said, it's this like harmonious, stable, because 4 is all about stability, right? Four of Wands is this stable celebration, like an ongoing celebration, right? It's beautiful. It's wonderful. There's so much good energy happening here that's available, but it's just like blocked. It's just like stuck somewhere, right? Just stuck. I'm just gonna start pulling oracle cards. I was gonna clarify this more, but I don't feel like I need to. That feels very clear to me. Like, someone's being stubborn. There's a new journey available to you. Just embrace that motherfucker. There's a almost like, I don't know, it's just a blockage made of pain. Magic. Make a wish, believe in miracles, magic surround you. That's what I'm fucking saying. Like, it's right here, but you, like, refuse to see it, or refuse to let it go, or refuse to, it's a lot. Refuse to see the thing that has to happen. Prepare for a life partner. Romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are lovable. So, again, for some of you, that's going to be what... It's going to be different because this is not a relationship reading like pile 1 was. So, for some of you, it says prepare for your life partner. Love is returning, right? For some of you, it may be If you can get past this, it can return love into your current relationship. But because it says prepare for your life partner, and because I see all this cycle ending, I do think this is new. It's a new... We have the Ace of Cups reversed also, which is about new love and romance. And it's reversed, like it's blocked. I think a lot of you... How am I back on love readings? I did not want to just keep doing love readings video. That's what we're doing. There's a potential for, like, real amazing love and strong... a beautiful partnership. Beautiful partnership. Available. But you have to move forward with it. We also have... We have patience again. Pause before you take action. Trust the divine timing is at work. We had the Wheel of Fortune, like it's almost there. There's timing is at play. We also had, timing's at play. Play whilst you can. And be clear and decisive. Focus on what you really want. Be bold with requests to the universe. This is a lot of the same cards that came out in pile 1. Just slightly different. Oh, I didn't want you there. Raise your standards, elevate your expectations, and you have unlimited potential. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much energy. No, this one. Available to you. But you have some blockages. Your blockages seem to be... there's no one... I can't tell you. You're going to have to do your own... digging on that one. Again, I think it has to do with speaking your truth. Oh, that's my best guess. That's what it looks like. That you're just feeling confined and you're unwilling or unwanting or nervous about or fearful of the repercussions of speaking your truth and what's going to happen if you do. The Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconscious to light. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be a leader. Be the leader you wish you had. For the spiritual aspect of these things, right? That's what I'm coming back to on this one. Is when you are able to overcome and transmute these energies so that you can do these really hard lessons. Like, this is not, let me just be clear, I don't think what's happening here is by any means an easy task. What you're being asked to surmount, what you're being asked to overcome and speak your truth about, what you're being asked to move forward with, the ending and this block energy, it's definitely very difficult. Like I said, this feels like a very spiritual group, and it feels like you guys are on the precipice of a brand new cycle. And while that cycle may be manifesting in very real, very normal ways in your life, in essence, when you do these things, it is seeing light in the world. It is bringing unconscious to the conscious. It is literally spiritually helpful to the collective. And by doing that, you are leading the way for others. You're showing people that it's possible. You're breaking expectations. You're setting examples for others who may feel similarly limited in the way that you do, to show people that it doesn't have to be the way that they think it is. However you think you have to do things, the thing that you're confronting right now, by confronting it and doing it, you can show other people that it is possible. You also have Hadrian energy, codependency, and boundaries. So there's some codependent energy happening here. And a need for healthier boundaries that maybe the thing you have to speak your voice up about, like the thing you need to speak up about is potentially boundaries and people codependent behavior, or perhaps you need to confront your own. And then fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes in life. Yeah, so it's that feeling of like just falling into the unknown. It's that fresh new, why are you doing this? It's this fresh new fool beginning, and like this just leaping off the cliff and hoping that the universe catches you. Like, that's what you're being asked to do. It's not easy or comfortable, but you're being asked to do that. You're being asked to lead in that way. It's time to take action. Again, we do have a lot of things about patience, but I do think that when the time comes to take action, you will know that it's time to take action, right? There will come a moment when that moment comes, you'll be called to do that. And that's what you're going to have to do. I saw it. Where'd it go? I saw you. The energy is gaining momentum. That's what I'm saying, right? So, like, what? There it is. Yeah. The energy is getting momentum, and as it progresses, as it reaches its tension point, that's when you're going to be called to action. And then your guides, higher self, etc., 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 God, etc., wants you to know that you are good enough. Whatever it is you are doubtful about your worth in, do not be doubtful of it, because you absolutely have everything necessary for what it is you're being called to. I'm going to pull you a couple of these and then a couple of those. So this is a fairy deck. So all the cards are fairy related. If that vibes for you, cool. If not, just take the core essence of it. The fairies, it's called protection. The fairies of protection are shielding you with a magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking upon any spiritual work. That's the same card that came out in pile 1. Stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself very focused. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. Again, it's just that you need to go through your mental conflict, what you're going through, sort it out, and then when the time comes, use your intuition to guide you to take the action that you're being asked to take. And protect your dreams. You are the guardian of your precious dreams. They are safe in your care. They are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. All right, last thing I'm going to get you guys is these Universe Has Your Back cards. Now, the reason why I like these cards the most is that they are just cards with words on them. So it's almost like getting a message, like a text message from your guides or the universe or whatever. I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. Again, it's like that just jumping in and knowing that where you're being pushed to is exactly where you need to go for your highest good. Like, it's not just for no reason. Like, it's for your highest good. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Yeah, attachments. That double, again, back to that double of having attachments to your situation and your outcome and what you want to happen versus what the universe is asking you to allow happen. At any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Spend some time just being really present in the moment so that you're not so conflicted by egoic reactivity, right? So that you can see clearly and allow yourself to accept the presence and then accept every moment as it comes and arrives and leaves, so that you can enjoy it for its best, and in doing so will bring you your highest good. And the last one is my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. I'm going to read that one more time. My capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. This thing that you're being asked to deal with, you're being asked to speak your truth on, you're being asked to sort out and heal from and move forward from, whatever that is for you in your life. The last card that I pull is about using love to make sure that when you communicate, it is out of compassion, it is out of love, that you can forgive anybody who has hurt you, and that you understand that you are enough. I think we had that in here, right? You are good enough, right? You just tune into what it is, love. Be present. That's the easiest way to fucking do it. Is to be present. Go outside. Just be present with the beauty of nature and the stillness of it, and allow that to fill you, so that when the time comes and you're ready to speak up, you can do so from a place of compassion and stillness and peace and love and harmony. I think that's the core message of your reading, to prepare for this final rebirth, this new beautiful journey of yours, which I'm very excited for, which I would have to suspect is going to be coming in this next lunar cycle. so that you can move forward to your next lesson, which I think will be your highest good. If you enjoyed this reading, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe or hit the bell. I have links in the description box with all kinds of information in it, social media, website. You can book me for readings there, etc., etc., etc. Feel free to check that out, and have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, if you chose this tiger's eye bracelet, then this is going to be for you. All right, guys. So, we're just going to work ourselves from left to right in this particular reading, okay? Now, the first set that we have is a 7 of Cups with the 9 of Pentacles. Now, the 7 of Cups is all about kind of like this feeling that it's about illusion and illusion and perception. It's like not knowing what's real, what's fantasy. You have a lot of different opportunities or offers or things or choices, and you're not sure which path to take or which thing to do. And the card that's clarifying it is the 9 of Pentacles, which is all about financial stability and abundance, and also feeling content and happy, like in your own right, without the need for any kind of thing else externally to give you fulfillment, like just feeling good and secure by yourself. So initially, my first going from left to right is that you're not sure which path to take or how to obtain this kind of financial stability that you are really seeking. Now, the next card shows us the Page of Wands clarified by the Chariot. So the Page of Wands is it's an offer. It's news. It's news that comes in, and it's wands, so it's fire, so it's kind of fast acting and strong. And I think in this next month cycle, you'll receive some kind of offer, news, or somebody will say something to you. If you just pay attention, you will receive information regarding an opportunity, which will allow you to drive. The Chariot is fast momentum forward, but most importantly, the Chariot is you get to drive the Chariot. Like, you're in charge of the Chariot. Like, you're in charge of moving and driving yourself and your life forward. So you have news and opportunity coming in about driving yourself forward in these matters. It could be a job opportunity or a something for expansion. I'm assuming money, just because that's where we started. Something that can allow you to work on a creative project, because it's wands. It can also really be something creative. So maybe if you have like a creative passion you'd like to pursue, or if you're doing a job now that is not creative in nature and you would like to be doing something that's more like, if your job is unfulfilling and you're like, I hate my job and it's unfulfilling, I want to do something that gives me more security, more stability, and that I actually love and enjoy. Pay attention in the next month, because there is an opportunity around you. Like, it's either coming or it's already around you, and all you have to do is seize it and push that Chariot forward, and you can absolutely have it. The next set that we have is the Strength card, clarified by the King of Cups. So the Strength card is all about having strength, right? But it's a lot of like spiritual internal strength. It's about embodying your higher self. It's about having the higher self, the inner knowing, and the presence of mind to I lost my train of thought. Ironically, after presence of mind. Cool. Right on, Stormie. So having presence of thought and embodying your higher self when assessing the situations, that you know how best to move forward. Without just being, egoically or emotionally reactive. And that's being clarified by the King of Cups. The King of Cups tells me that there is a need for resolution in some matter or another in your life. And that resolution needs to take place by way of your heart's guidance. Like, you need to... The King of Cups is somebody who is fully aware and in control. Not really in control of, that's a bad word. It's a word often used, but I don't think it's fair. He's very aware, and he's not swayed or affected by his emotions. He has really he's mastered the element of his emotional body and his intuition, things like that, right? Mastered it. So you need to leverage that as you use your strength to move forward in the resolution of a situation in your life. And this is a general reading, so that situation is going to vary person to person. There's who knows how many different people who are going to watch this particular pile, so the situation is going to vary. But for all of you involved, there's a need for compassion and intuitive guidance and your inner strength and higher self to navigate the situation, so that you're not doing it out of place of, ego or reactivity. That being said, there is also the Wheel of Fortune reversed, followed by the Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is really a fast-acting, speedy, action-oriented kind of energy. It rushes in and it just does something, right? And that's clarifying the Wheel of Fortune reverse. Now, the Wheel of Fortune reverse says maybe a little bad luck. Maybe a little bad luck, but it's the last stage. The Wheel of Fortune, when it's reversed, always tells me that you're this close. It's the final thing you have to get over. And perhaps something rushes in and throws you off balance, or perhaps you are reactive and you take action really quickly without thinking. And when you take action without thinking, that might bite you in the ass a little bit. You might get bit in the ass because you decided to, or you just recently acted without that higher self guidance, and that led you to experience a little bit of misfortune. Additionally, your bottom of the deck is the Eight of Swords in reverse. And this just has to do a lot with, it's not bad. It's when we perceive we are trapped in a situation that we are not trapped in, because it's mental. It's a mental game. But reversed, I always interpret that, or that is easily interpreted as loosening those bounds. You've already begun the process of loosening the mental constraints, doing the shadow work, analyzing where you have limiting thoughts and behaviors, and beginning to unravel those. I think it's within that unraveling that you begin to be able to embody this more higher self energy, inner strength, and heartfelt guidance in navigating situation, which, from what I can tell, may include a little bit of misfortune, but that misfortune is always divinely guided. It is a major arcana card, and it is always, when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's the last thing you have to do in order to flip the wheel and have the good fortune that is incoming. You have to do a little ow, and then you get the yay. This is a terrible interpretation of the Wheel of Fortune card, but that's what we just did. So, moving on. I'm going to grab, these are the Psychic Tarot Oracle by John Holland. I usually use this to clarify all of my tarot readings because it's amazing. So we're going to put some cards on here to clarify this particular section, then we'll play some more. I don't read reversals in this deck, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So, the sacral chakra. These are based on tarot cards, but they have their own names in this deck. So you have sacral chakra, financial material changes, sacrifice, crown chakra, shadow, and foundation and achievements. Now, this equates to sacral chakra, crown chakra, the Five of Pentacles, the Hangman, the Moon, and the Four of Wands. And that's how they came out. I always make a pyramid because I just feel like it centralizes all of the energy in the reading into a focal point. The focal point for you is the Four of Wands, which is a It's a very, very strong, firm, stable, celebratory achievement kind of card where you know, are content and happy and have a happy home and all those kinds of things. However, there are changes and sacrifices and a little bit of shadow work that's going to have to be done in the process. You're going to have to, well, not shadow work necessarily. It's called Shadow in this deck, but it's the Moon card, and I feel like I'm going to interpret it the way I prefer to often interpret the Moon card, which is the Moon card is a card that only lights your way so far. If you're walking through the woods on a full moon, or a half moon or whatever, it's not like walking in the woods in the daylight. You can't see all the way in the distance. You can only see so far. The moon only lights your path so far. So it's about that taking the steps as far as you can see them and trusting that you're going in the right direction, right? And you're being led to this beautiful foundation, this beautiful like life and happiness and joy. There is a bit of sacrifice that's going to take place. You need to change your perspective a little bit. And I do think there's going to be a little bit of wounding that occurs. Just because of that misfortune happening here and that like rushing kind of speed energy. But you do have the news, also that illusionary thing happening. So I think between the illusion, the misfortune, and this Knight of Wands energy, there might be a little bit of need to discover some more limiting beliefs. You've already started to work on it, but work on a little bit more. Work on what it is that is holding you back, which is probably you. It's always you. You're holding you back. And changing your perspective on a couple of ideas so that you can see a little further, see a little clearer, and achieve the foundations that you are seeking. Why did I say it like that? I'm going to go ahead and grab you some more tarot cards real quick. And then we'll get you some oracle cards. So with the Moon card showing up again and it being reversed, I feel like that Spirit being like, also the other interpretation, please. So in this case, I do think it's a matter of there could be some secrets that come out in the next month. Some ulterior motives. There is also a resistance to... There's a resistance to the, like, you want to create something new, like you want to do that, like you want to create this new thing maybe, and there's almost like either a fear of doing it for some of you, or in the other case a almost foolishness towards it, which may be that rushing in that results in misfortune, like just without really thinking it through. Like you don't think through what it is you're trying to start and you just do it, and it doesn't even, like, it bites you in the ass, right? Or that has happened, or that will happen soon. Either it just happened or it will happen soon. When we look at the month ahead, there's also going to be, dependent upon which person, because there's a whole group of people here, right? Dependent upon that, some of this is going to pertain to things that have just occurred going into the month, and some will pertain to the energies unfolding within that month. So we also have the Two of Swords clarified by the Six of Pentacles, Strength clarified by the Ten of Swords, and the Nine of Swords in reverse clarified by the Chariot. So there is a indecisiveness, a struggle to be decisive or to be able to see things clearly, that's in regards to kind of even balance, give and take, and reciprocity and things, right? This has been a theme with every single fucking pile. There's been some kind of underlying imbalance, either in their personal or professional lives. In some capacity or another, there is an imbalance occurring, right? And there's an inability to really see it or to accept it or to deal with it. Why that is running through all of these cards, I don't really know. There always seems to be some underlying themes every single time I do pick a card that apply to all people. In this particular case, there is some need for balance or need to give rather than take that needs to be addressed, needs to be seen. We have that Strength card again about embodying that kind of higher self and information. This time it's being clarified by the Ten of Swords. So Ten of Swords is always one of those cards everyone's like, oh, fuck. So either you just have, which feels more accurate to me, or at some point in the next month, there will be the 10th sword in your back. It's a painful situation. That might be part of the misfortune as well. But the thing about the 10 of swords, the positive aspect, because there always is a positive aspect, is that it is the last sword. The 10th sword that stabs you is the last sword that stabs you. That seems to be a theme with you. That actually seemed to be a theme with all the piles as well. This particular round is that, fuck, my camera died. My microphone is about to die. We're going to try to get through this really quickly. An underlying theme from all the decks, blah, blah, blah. That's where I was at, right? Yes. The 10th sword is the last sword. That's where we're at. That gets you, right? So there's going to be, or recently has been, some pain, but it is the end of that pain cycle, okay? You also have the 9 of swords in reverse with the Chariot. And this is, the 9 of swords is the, like, well, this deck actually exemplifies it really well. The 9 of swords is about, like, it's like, you can't even sleep. It's nightmares. It's insomnia. It's overthinking. It's your brain fucking hurts, right? But you have the Chariot, which is this positive momentum forward that you're driving, which we already had before with the good news. I think all this mental anguish that you're having regarding, like, the illusions that we had in the 7 of Cups card, and the not being sure what's real and what's not real, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This mental anguish you have about how to move forward, how to achieve this financial stability that you want, and how to move forward and get these foundational achievements and to have this, like, life that you're looking for, that will begin to let up very, very soon when you start to make this positive momentum forward. Bottom of your deck has the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers isn't necessarily actually lovers. The Lovers is the Gemini energy. It's about choices. It's about, and this particular instance, the way that it feels a lot like this. Gemini or Lovers reverse is feeling a lot today, like the Gemini mind when it's underdeveloped or overstressed, like too many thoughts, too much things, a little unbalanced, that kind of energy. I think it's just kind of an undertone, and that's why it's on the bottom of your deck. I'm ready to use some oracle cards now. Take time to breathe out. Yeah, fuck yeah. You are so stressed. But, like, you have so many good cards on the board. Like, there's nothing really to be stressed about. At the end of a tough cycle approaches. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just this last little leg for you. The win-win outcome is forecast. It's gonna work. You're just waiting for this. There's gonna be an influx of, there's gonna be some good news and some momentum forward very, very, very soon. For sure. You have a lot of, actually, now that I'm looking at it, you actually have a lot of major arcana on the board. Be bold. Make the first move. Yeah, and prosperity lies ahead. You're going to drive this thing forward yourself. This new endeavor, this new thing you want to do, this project or this thing in your life. You take a breath, whatever. This tough cycle is going to end very, very soon, and you're going to be able to move this whole thing forward for your highest good. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? That's a lot of leading cards. 2 chariots, 2 strength cards. Be bold to make the first move. Priestess. What else do we have for leadership? Got a king. I think for sure. I think maybe part of your limiting belief structure comes back to the fact that maybe you don't think you're capable of what it is you want to do. Minnetonka, longing for home, belonging the original light workers. Perhaps what it is you want to do is something. Well, it doesn't really matter what you want to do. If it's your highest calling, it's still going to help seed light into the world. If you're following your soul's mission, you're doing what it is that is going to help the collective. You also have dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Like, go, like I said, take time to breathe out. Go outside. Go for a walk. Do something to raise your vibration and distract yourself so that you can actually embody that strength card and be able to embody your highest self, right? But you need to play and have fun at the same time so that you can do that. This one just says no, postpone, right? So with that, it's probably going to be specific to certain people in here who wanted a yes or no question. If you wanted a yes or no answer, the answer is fucking no. I wouldn't say that a no is really applicable to the entire reading, because a lot of this reading is about breathing, right? And then being able to take action and step up and lead like you're being called to. Nope, I'm gonna grab one of these first. Ouch. Prosperity, a gift of money is on its way. Your income is increasing. Manage your finances with love. Again, like, yes, that's what we're talking about. It's on its way. You have good news and fortune on its way. There's just this little bump, but it's all pretty good, man. Innocence, take time to play, nurture your inner child, live with a childlike sense of wonder. That's a lot of cards we're beginning to get now in a row that are about taking time to breathe out, have fun, dance with life, like, absolutely. And when you start embodying your purpose, that's what happens naturally anyways. Integrate your shadow side. There can be no light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. Yeah, again, with your limiting thoughts, integrate your shadow side. Integrate those limiting beliefs so that you can actually be aware of them when they surface and want to limit you. Passion, do what excites you. Get fired up about your life. Increase your energy levels. Again, that's about... See, what I think it is you are going to be making big moves. You have big news coming. You have all these things, but you need to really, like, get your... This is very a generic term, and I try to not use it too much, but to raise your vibration up to the specific level that you need it to be at in order to be able to do that. Not only do you need to be able to do the shadow work to integrate things in order to raise your vibration, but you also have to actually be happy, be joyful, be grateful. That happens when you act as a child. What makes you actually fucking happy? Dance, eat things you love, go outside. Like, I keep saying go outside. I just keep feeling like you should go outside and explore the world and have wonder and live life happily. Partnership. Teamwork will give you better results. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Build up a talented support team. You do have the incoming news happening. That person may involve a partnership. Also, lovers can be partnership type cards. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. But I think it's very feasible. This is the universe has your back deck. And I like these cards because they have written words on them. So in my mind, it's kind of like getting a direct message from your higher self, spirit guides, universe, God, whatever it is, whatever paradigm works for you. I feel like this is a way to get the direct messages from them. First one you have is the universe works fast when I'm having fun. Again, if you want to speed up your manifestations, you want to have that. You need to up your energy levels for sure. And the best way to do that is to actually go out and have fun. Do what makes you happy. Be free. Be full of life. Oneness is my true nature. You have to learn about polarity. It talks about polarity, but to understand the polarity, you have to also then understand that those two halves make up a whole. You are a part of a greater whole, and what you do helps seed light into the world, which we also had over here. By doing what it is that you feel called to do, by doing what it is that helps you feel good, you also help the collective, because we are all connected, because oneness is our nature. My fearless freedom lights up the world. Again, man, this is a lot. Like, you guys have so much, there's good energy coming in, and you're being asked to, like, just be joyful and be happy and be high vibe and be full of life and love. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So that's kind of a hybrid of the two things that you guys have really at the core of your reading is that there's a little bit more integration we have. Now we have that you're loosening the bounds on those limiting belief structures. You're working on it, but you have to continue to work on it. That is already happening. They had at the beginning of the reading. You have all this kind of influx and trying to figure out what's real and what's not with your illusions and your fantasies and how to move forward, how to keep decisions and how to do all those things. And the answer that came through is primarily to do two things: to integrate your shadow, to make sure that you're working on your healing, you're working on your limiting beliefs, right? To loosen up, finish loosening up all those binds so you can be free, and to embody your childlike wonder and be actually fucking happy. And like Do what makes you feel good, right? You need to raise your energy levels, because as you are grateful for each moment, as you're having fun, it's going to speed up that process. We have multiple chariots here. Like, you have this really amazing energy coming in and you get to drive it forward, but you have to have enough energy to push that fucking chariot first. So get your energy levels up. Sorry I had a speed talk through the second half of that. I've got 2% on my microphone right now, and I just don't want it to die before I was dying, because I can't actually, like, it takes a while to me to, I can't, anyways, doesn't matter. The point is, if this was helpful to you, please don't forget to hit the like button at minimum. If you want to see more of my videos, hit subscribe. There are links in the description box below for all the decks that I'm using, as well as booking readings with me, and a bunch of other shit, like my website, and my merch, and my podcast, and I do things, and I have stuff to say, and there are links down there, and I hope you guys have a wonderful